How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis bans CBDCs in Florida. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill Friday banning the use of centralized digital dollar. Now, the portion of Florida law that defines the money explicitly notes that the term does not include a central bank digital currency. During the press conference, he also posed that President Joe Biden's administration announced it would be studying CBDCs last year because it wants to crowd out and eliminate other types of digital assets like cryptocurrency. So this is a good move because now if the federal government makes a CBDC, they cannot declare it as a tender in Florida because the state law overrides it. LG files patent for TV that lets users trade NFTs. I would not recommend using this, in my opinion, but you do what you want. South Korean customer tech giant LG Electronics has filed a patent for a TV that will allow users to buy, sell, and swap NFTs. This device would connect itself to an NFT market server, showcase a variety of artworks, and permit purchase through the user's cryptocurrency wallet connected to the TV, set all from the comfort of their living room. LG launched their own marketplace and they have their own wallet, so it's likely that's what you're going to be using. I don't like the idea of my wallet being connected to the internet at all times, but if you do, go for it. BinanceUS explores way to decrease CZ's dominant share. BinanceUS and its founder, majority stakeholder, and chairman, Shijing Zhao, are looking into strategies for decreasing his ownership in the exchange. He has been looking to offload it since last summer, so before they were being investigated by the CFTC for having too much control over BinanceUS. So this could be a good move. Executives at Binance have deliberated on how the potential reduction in his stake might enhance the company's reputation amongst US regulatory authorities, and I think it would too because it would show that he's not quite as involved, especially with the recent people saying, hey, he has too much control over BinanceUS, so hopefully he'd be giving up some of that control and letting the exchange run on its own. Bitcoin dominance has another gap down. So we have two gap ups. RSI is curling down, money flows aggressively coming out, VWAP's curling, momentum's breaking bearish, stochastics beat down, so we're not looking very good at all here. Our total market cap for our altcoins is trying to inch up despite Bitcoin dropping, so money could be rolling slightly into our altcoins. We'll have to see if we can get that green dot here on that momentum wave, and if that money flow can stay bullish. It's testing neutral, so watch out. Our VWAP is trying to push up, stochastic's trying to push up, but could get a bearish cross, and our RSI is kind of just wavering along because it doesn't have much strength. So we're going to want to see that RSI push up with everything else. So over on Bitcoin, we were pretty volatile today. I warned yesterday we could go to about 25k, and we almost did. So our RSI is trying to get a green dot, stochastic's pretty beat down, VWAP's, our money flow is pretty beat down, very close to that neutral zone. VWAP's just riding under the neutral zone, and momentum's aggressively coming down. It could curl in the next couple of candles, but I wouldn't count on it if the lower time frames aren't looking too good. 4 hour momentum could curl off here. Money flows in the red, so we're still in a bearish trend in the money flow on the 4 hour. Stochastic's trying to ramp up though, RSI is trying to ramp up, and our VWAP's trying to ramp up, and we're kind of getting a little bit of a round here. So we could have a setup for some push up. This long lower shadow candle represents sellers trying to push us lower, and they were not able to. Over on the 2 hour, you see we could somewhat make a cup, take a little bit of dip, handle, and then break out. It wouldn't be too big of a breakout if we did, but we'll draw that real quick. It'd be a little micro one back into our pocket. So we might be able to go around 27k, at which point we might roll back over again. Stochastic's trying to ramp up, RSI is trying to ramp up, VWAP's trying to come up, money flow's trying to come up slightly, but overall it's decreasing. Our momentum is trying to come up pretty aggressively on the 2 hour. So I'd keep your eyes on the 2 hour. If we do kind of make that cup and handle, we might get a little bit of a jump. And then at which point you'll want to determine, are we going to get a spike out of this golden pocket up or down? Because remember, we have a gap on both sides. Stochastic's curling, RSI looks like it could fall. Momentum's starting to round off. VWAP's starting to come down on the 1 hour. Money flow rejected, crossing bullish. So we have a bearish trend on our money flow on the 1 hour. Bearish on the 2 hour, 4 hour. So the daily could become bearish. Our momentum is somewhat trying to curl, so that's not good for us either. Now, if we look at our Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin futures, I'm shocked to not see a new gap from today. But we have that higher gap here around 29K. So it is possible we could get another fake out breakout where we kind of jump up to 30K, then fall back down to 20K where our lower gap is. We'll kind of have to see what happens. Stochastic's starting to curl away, RSI's starting to curl away, momentum's starting to curl, VWAP's starting to come down, money flow's gone pretty flat. This is on graphs 1 hour. So 1 hour is looking kind of like it wants to give up some gains. We'll look how the other time frames look though. The daily, we got a pretty strong pump here. Stochastic's ramping up, RSI's pushing up. Our money flow is coming down. We do have a double green down on the momentum though, but I'd watch out because that money flow is not really too good. 4 hour, our Stochastic's trying to run up, VWAP's trying to run up, RSI is ramping up. Our money flow wants to curl up. It's getting slightly higher lows, so that's good. Our momentum wants to come up, but it keeps trying to curl out, so watch out for it to kind of just flop over. If our momentum starts to cool off, then it's likely we'll start to fall. We had a bit of like a double bottom here that brought us up. Possibly a ascending triangle too off that with that double bottom. So we may come back down a little. I'll kind of draw it out real quick. So a bit of an ascending triangle. That could make this kind of a cup and handle, kind of like Bitcoin has, and that could push us higher. So not financial advice, but that pattern has about like a 70 or 80% breakout probability, I believe. RSI is kind of starting to cool off. Money flow wants to come up and break neutral, so we'll have to see if that can flip bullish. Stochastic's running up, RSI is kind of cooling off. So 2 hours looks like we could give some up, but is looking alright. We do have that green down in the 1 hour that suggests we could get a bullish ramp up, but we're not really going anywhere. Stochastic's starting to curl, so that's not too good. RSI's starting to flatten out in the 1 hour. Momentum's starting to curl, VWAP's coming down, money flow's gone flat above the bullish territory. So if the money flow can stay bullish and we can kind of curl up, that'd be good for us, and we could see this pattern break up. Over on Anchor, long lower shadow candle, bit of a hammer candle. If we get a big green candle here, that could push us above our value area low, and we could start to push up higher, as that could be a bottoming signal. RSI is trying to push up. Stochastic looks like it wants to give up some gains though. RSI is just under that neutral zone, like riding the neutral zone, so it's trying to determine the trend, so I'd be a little skeptical. Money flow's coming out, VWAP rejected, crossing bullish. Our momentum wanted to curl, but it keeps coming down. Over on the 4 hour, our momentum has a bullish divergence. We are getting a little bit of a curl here, so our momentum wants to come up. Stochastic's heading up, RSI's heading up. Our money flow's overall heading up, VWAP's heading up, so the 4 hour is looking pretty decent. Could be a bit of a rounding bottom for us here too as well. So we may see some sort of cup and handle play out across like everything. Stochastic's kind of starting to curl here on the 2 hour. RSI's kind of starting to curl. We don't really have that symmetrical triangle. You could say it was right here and then this is the breakout. So we could retest this area. Our money flow wants to come up bullishly, so we'll have to see if it can actually cross and get some momentum. Our VWAP's ramping up, but it's starting to kind of curl out, so watch out. Our momentum's trying to come up, so we are trying to push forward. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic's just riding this overbought area, has no more room to run. So our RSI has as much strength as it can get and is pretty much overbought, almost as much as it can go. Our momentum wants to kind of curl here. VWAP's coming down pretty aggressively. Our 1 hour did get rejected crossing that neutral on the money flow, but we are trying to cross again, so we'll have to see if it can cross and push forward. Over on XRP, for the daily, we are trying to get a bullish engulfing candle. Tweezer bottom candle. Stochastic's trying to push up. Money flow wants to come back bullish. Our momentum is getting a double green dot. Our RSI is trying to push forward. Our VWAP did cross bullish, so we're looking pretty decent to try and push forward. We do have a long upper shadow candle though that shows that buyers tried to come up and got suppressed, but that's not necessarily too bad a thing. It's about 50-50. If we can get the altcoins to push forward, we could break through this resistance. But if the altcoins don't start to push forward, then it's likely we may see a rejection from here as we retested our pattern and we could fall away from it. So over on the 4 hours, stochastic's starting to fall. RSI is just running up. VWAP's going up, but overall heading out. Money flow wants to come up. Our momentum's trying to come up with a green dot that could confirm, so we could push forward here. Over on the 2 hour, we're just kind of bouncing around. Bit of an ascending triangle, kind of like we had on graph. Stochastic's ramping up. RSI wants to run up. Momentum wants to come up. VWAP wants to come up. We did get a green dot that pushed that momentum up. Our money flow wants to cross bullishly, so we'll have to see if that can actually happen and establish itself. The 1 hour, our money flow is trying to test bullish, so we'll have to see if it just flops or if it starts to ramp up. Stochastic looks like we could curl, but we could just curl and ride up, and this RSI could continue riding upwards. We'll have to see. RSI is starting to kind of curl though. Momentum's starting to curl. Our VWAP's starting to head down, so I'd be a little skeptical. Finally, on algo for the daily, we have a hammer candle here that could create that rounding bottom. Stochastic's running up. RSI wants to run up. Our money flow overall is heading up, but it's coming down over the last couple of candles. Momentum's kind of trying to curl, but it just keeps riding this oversold area, so we're going to need that momentum to push us forward. Algo's been pretty beat down comparative to everything else because of a lot of FUD, so we'll have to see if this washout can eliminate that FUD. We do have a bullish divergence on the 4 hour here, so that could push us forward. This is a bit of a down channel, so down channels are a bullish pattern. Stochastic's trying to ramp up. RSI is running up. Money flow is close to trying to break that neutral zone. It's just riding under, so we'll have to see if it can actually break and sustain. VWAP's trying to head up, and our momentum's curling up. It does have that double green dot too. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic's running up. RSI is starting to give up a little bit, so watch out for that. Money flow did break into the bullish territory, so that is good, and it is getting a little bit of strength, so we could push forward from here. Our VWAP is running up, but it looks like it could curl, so I'd watch out for that. Our momentum looks like it wants to break bullishly. Finally, on the 1 hour, stochastic's starting to curl. RSI is kind of just going flat. Momentum's running up pretty strong. Our money flow did not break bullish here, even though it's bullish on the 2 hour. So watch out for that 2 hour to just flap over, especially with the money flow starting to curl out. VWAP's starting to come down pretty aggressively, so that could signal that our medium term might break bearish as well. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night.